Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Sorry about that. As you know, as we are wont to do, this is Justice's Waiting Room. This is a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. I am a socialist. I just want to make sure everyone has universal health care, education, income, and housing, which apparently is a big deal on multiple platforms because I'll be really honest with you. Suspiciously, since I started calling out Donald Trump and Elon Musk, my growth on social media has stagnated and my views on my content has stagnated. And I just think that's fantastic, actually. I actually think it's fucking great. So it's good to see everybody. Yo, it's good to see everybody. Every show we start the same. Okay? You wondered, should your show have a theme song? It's got a couple, actually. The way we do it a little different on this show is instead of making you listen to music from my end, hey, here's the link to this music video from the 60s. You can go watch that if you want. Okay? To talk a little bit about what's going on with my life, I have an interview to become a head coach of a high school football team. Not an 8-man team. 11 on 11, IHSAA. It's 1A. It's a very small town. Okay. But if you ask me if I'd sell my house and move across the state to take over a very small program, oh, in a heartbeat. I'm wondering how they went 7-7 and lost their head coach. That's my first question is why am I here right now? If this team was 0-11 last year and got blown out every game, I could see you hunting for a new coach. What gives? Right? That's my first question is what the fuck am I doing here? Not because I don't think I'd be a good head coach or that I don't deserve an opportunity or I'm not worthy of an interview. I'm just a realist. Something happened, right? Frequently when people leave, it's for greener pastures. I'm just not a big believer in the grass is greener. I don't believe that. A lot of people are susceptible to believing that there's a better opportunity elsewhere, and frequently there's not. A lot of people would disagree with that, right? Like they generally think it's good to keep it moving. You get higher achievement with consistency and longevity, and teams that are super successful, typically the most successful teams have the most time together. And reps equals success and excellence. So if you're switching your leadership all the time, sort of putting a foot in the progress, it's not really helping us. So if I'm moving my family across the state, I got to know why that guy left. Oh, he got a better job. Cool. Cool. Did he live here? So he like left town? He skipped town? What happened? That's wild. In this in this financial market is crazy. You know, what I'm doing makes sense. Selling my house, getting a bunch of equity out of it, moving out of the city, out to the country where it's presumably going to cost less to live, right? That that passes logic. Logic, right? It makes sense that I would do that because I'm coming from an equitous standpoint, right? Like think about that. Like I'm getting equity out of my home sale. So my moving is a plus thing for me because I'm presumably going from one loan amount to about the same elsewhere to move. But if you go from that small, cheap place to live and you got to move and it's to I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, so we have the donut counties, the counties around Marion County that are also like urban and urban priced, right? Hey Zeke. So yeah, I don't think I'll get the job. I don't think I deserve it, because I'm a normal person, like I have everyone else. Um, you'll never be prepared enough. You'll never, I immediately realized that, I was successful in my role as an offensive coordinator and I drew everything by hand. Now I'm the head coach. I don't think you can just draw it up by hand anymore. I think you got to really put down some fucking wax, which is motivating to me. I know a lot of people would see like a mountain of work in front of them and be like, "Oh fuck, that sucks. I would never do that shit." All about it. All about it. If I had to say a behavior that I love doing, it's starting over, starting fresh. It's getting to walk into a room full of people you don't know and having a fucking impact. And the thing about it is if you think I'm a different person in real life than I am on this fucking show or on the internet, no, I'm the same football coach. Like I already have my first speech planned out, right? To the kids. This is the impossible ask. I'm asking you to forget about football first. Focus on your fucking education because that's going to take you a lot goddamn farther than this game's going to take you. And now that I've just come out and said it, you can win this game with your brain. Yes, this is a game about speed and agility and fucking conditioning and teamwork and all that. This is a game for smart people. You can't be football dumb, and win football games. Now, and the thing about it is that it, again, is super awkward here. This team was X-1 in their conference and won their conference and lost their head coach. So clearly, just winning isn't the impetus. Because if it fucking was, they'd have kept their fucking head coach and I wouldn't be fucking talking to these kids. So what can we do, right? Given that we're in this transition period, we can control what we can control. We can get 8 hours of sleep a night, and if you need a fucking nap, take a nap. You need to hydrate. You need to focus on making sure that we don't have heat injuries in this program because one, we are all hydrated and prepared, right? Okay? So get 8 hours of sleep, hydrate. Hey, it's probably wise if you start focusing on what you're eating and eat right. If you're going to be a football player or a year-round athlete, as I would prefer you call yourself, as a year-round athlete, what you put in your fucking gullet is like super important. And then, hey, this is a game of who's in better shape, who's faster in the fourth quarter too. So hey, this is a unique sport where you kind of have to be a total athlete. It's not really one where you could just be a fast team or just be a tough team or just be a finesse team. There are plenty of teams that win plenty of games that aren't fast and they aren't the stronger team, but they have better technique, right? So of course, coming into a new opportunity, all those things, the sleep, eat, hydrate, exercise, all those things, most teams don't even, that's not even on their fucking radar. How do I know? Because I fucking coached already for years. And no one's talking about this. Kids are coming to me after games from the other team and they're like, I can hear you. And I'm like, oh, you can hear me talking? And they're like, are you a parent? And I'm like, no, I'm the offensive coordinator. And I'm like, oh my God, you're the best coach ever. Like, I could totally hear you. Like, break down. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, talking to the kids while they're playing the game, right? So I know that what I'm doing is like effective, right? And I've had success in my prior roles. And any other job I've ever had, I've fucking excelled at, right? But this is a game of consistency, availability, repetition. You want to be great, it's about reps. That's and most people don't like hearing it. It's like their least favorite thing to hear. Oh, you want to be great? It's going to take an insurmountable amount of work. It's the most difficult task. I'll do it with you. I'll literally show up every morning, 6 a.m., unlock the weight room door with you, and fucking push iron. And the things that have happened when you do that shit, kids go to school and they're awake the whole day and they're interacting in their classes because they've been awake for a while. And typically when you start lifting, you have to start like taking protein and creatine to avoid injury. And then you want to eat something after you've worked out. So now these kids are coming to school and they've worked out, they've ate. So not only are they attending school, but they actually have the energy to get through the day without passing out, falling asleep, right? Their GPA goes up, their test scores go up, they suddenly aspire to go to college. They become just because you built it on you got to learn periodization or lifting weights is kind of pointless. And that's another thing that coaches don't teach kids how to lift weights and how to get stronger, so they don't do that. They just lift weights. And if you teach them that, no, this is actually, iron never lies, it never folds, it never gets injured or tired, it's always there to kick your ass. So it's the weight room is where you become great. It's the track where you become great, right? It's not in the fold. It's not. A lot of people say like you got to hit a lot to win in football, and it's actually not that. It's about keeping your athletes healthy. And I've coached when you don't have numbers, right? When I have 19 kids on a team, this team has 38 had 38, which to me is plenty of people. And I know for most people are like, oh my God, like college football programs have like 100 plus kids. Yeah. Hmm. Imagine what I could do with 100 kids. Imagine the impact I could have with 100 kids. But you got to start somewhere. And my aspirations are not to coach high school football. I want to coach NFL Division One football. I don't need to be anywhere to make that happen. I just need to be great wherever. I just need to be myself and be great wherever I am. And those opportunities will come. Because ultimately, football is a relationship game. It's a guy to your left and right, making sure everybody's up, shit like that. It's about morale and shit. If you know what you're doing and you're confident in what you're doing, and the guy to you're confident the guy to your left and your right is also doing the right things, you're gonna have a lot more success. A lot more success. Too many people think of sports as like an individual thing that I have to be on a team to play, and that's not how you win. That's not how we're gonna win. How you're gonna win is together. You're gonna lose together too, but how you're gonna win is definitely together. And especially since I'm coming in from out of town, right? I have to sort of come in there and blend into your culture, right? But I'm not thinking of myself as like a shoe-in. I think of myself as probably like a last resort, like a pretty goddamn good one, but a last resort nonetheless. I can't imagine I'm high on anyone's radar, right? Although a very small town of less than 1,000 people seems like an awfully interesting place to start your little socialist project, right? Somebody said, "Are you going to the Veterans March on March 14th?" So I put in for a shift swap so that I could be off for that day. So it's not for not wanting to go there. And oh, by the way, I was super bummed. I think you might be high on the radar. I don't know. I don't know. It's March. But I also sort of agree that there can't be that many people in the state of Indiana that are willing to like uproot their life and move to a fucking small town in Indiana. You know what I mean? I also can't imagine there's this quality of candidate in fucking Wolcott already. Why didn't he already have the job? Right? It was just an easy local hire. Why would you wanna even dabble, right? With the city kid. But also once I start thinking about like football, actual football shit, I just realize like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, like football shit. Apparently the Veterans March is 3 days long now, plus extended money if needed. Ah, so we'll look. Um, we'll look. Yeah, here's the only thing I'm worried about. So, someone helped me. Actually, it was one of the matriarchy, one of the mods. Um, I sent them my information and the information for the job for a head coaching job, and they built me a resume using AI. And for the record, it got me the job I got, and it got and it got this interview for this head coaching job. So hey, they say AI can't do much. It cut a lot of time out of a resume. Just put in my info and insert this template and magic. So the problem that I have with this interview that I have to like wait until the interview to disclose, and I would only ever disclose this if it comes up. But the resume that I originally gave that guy, like last fucking year, I was in school. I was gonna go be a STEM teacher, but there were no fucking STEM jobs. There was no STEM jobs. And so I had submitted this education plan that included these links to these jobs that when I actually called on those jobs, they didn't exist. And it was like you're gonna have to move out of the state of Indiana to find a job in teaching. And in my back of my mind, I'm like, this seems like a fruitless endeavor where I'm gonna go spend all this money to get this degree from Purdue in data analytics, like over 50K, and then do the transition to teaching program. I have a full-time job, so thinking about how time demanding this is, right? To quit this job, take a massive pay cut to go be a STEM teacher at a small town high school. What? So instead, I got this badass job. I still want to be a high school head football coach. Hey, I don't have any kids. I don't have any debt. I'm going to make a whole bunch of money I can invest in a football program. I think that's probably a lot better than taking on another teacher, especially a male teacher that's a veteran. That's just putting a target on my back. Okay? But if I'm just the head football coach, it's better for I think it's better for the kids, right? Where I don't have to automatically take a teacher's side on shit. If a teacher does something fucked up, I'm just gonna tell the AD. I don't give a fuck. I'm here for these kids, right? Where if I'm a teacher, it's like there's like we're union brothers and sisters and shit. So you know what I mean? Where nah, not if I. So I'm just wondering when that'll come up. That it's like, hey, I know why y'all want me. It's because of what my resume said. And while it was true at the time, things change, dreams change. I'm actually in a better spot, right? Um, so, hey, hey, Ollie. So, and the thing about it is, I'm even more ready, willing, and able to move and be a head football coach than I would have been had I been in school and working full time and trying to be a head coach. No, no, it's gonna be a nightmare situation. So I'm actually glad. One, it'll flesh out how good of an opportunity this is. Yeah. And I think about if I'm a teacher, how toxic this is that I'm getting there like before, hours before school starts and I'm there hours after school starts and just how like I'm not gonna fucking do that. Shocker. You know, when I was coaching high school ball here in Indy, I would leave in the morning, leave my house at 5:30, be at the school at 6, work the kids out, dap them up on the way to school, right? Just fist bumping everybody on the way out, go to school, and then I'd run home, feed the dogs, hop on and get to work, right? And I did that for my first year coaching. I worked a full-time job and coached football. I was there before the head coach after school every day because he was coming from teaching at another school. And so I can see how if you have a head coach that's a teacher at the school at a school, whether it's this school, there's going to be time between when they are at work and when they're not, and they can be a coach now, right? So I firsthand was like, I don't know if I really want to be a teacher and a head coach, right? Typically, though, in Indiana, that's how you get your foot in the door. And I'm wondering if this administration is going to walk back and say, wait, you actually got a job that is going to make you enough money that you could put our minds at ease regarding any financial situations that the program may have because I have a high paying job. And I'm bringing that money to your small town, which it needs. It needs my money, right? So I'm wondering if they're willing to accept the difference between me coming there and being a teacher and a coach and me coming there and me moving to their town, being the head football coach and not actually being a teacher. So I guess I got to kind of be open because what if they're like we don't have anybody else. There's no other candidates for this job. So cuz that could definitely be it. That could definitely be what they come to me and say. Is like who the fuck else is going to move to this small town? Because I imagine if they had someone locally or someone in their school, they'd have interviewed them already. They'd already hired them. I wouldn't even be. Why would you even reach out to me? I'm 90 minutes away. I have no head coaching experience. Right? And my dream is that half this town's already seen my content and before I even fucking get there, right? Hopefully that would be great. Like I was already on their radar. They've been watching me for a while. He's not a Democrat. He's not a Republican. He's a fucking socialist, right? Like that would be great if they already fucking knew. That'd be great. And that a small town is a perfect place to be a head coach and get to talk to parents and shit like that, and then get to know you and nominate you. I would have been a great teacher if they didn't treat teachers so horrifically. And that's what kept me from ever wanting to be a teacher or going through with it. Because I've seen how they've mistreated teachers over time. You know, I really thought my end of high school, that generation of teachers that taught me when I was in high school that was getting ready to retire, that was a great fuck. They call themselves the greatest generation. Like they really were fantastic fucking teachers. And then after that, it's not that they turned out like shitty teachers. It's just the situation that they put these teachers in. And flatly, you can't expect me to drive a bus after I've been a teacher all day and on my feet all day, right? Do you know how you're not making it, right? Fortunately, I have a work from home job and I'm not on my feet all day. I'll be able to handle the workload of being a head coach. Because ultimately, it's just about instilling good behaviors in other people and like teaching them it's not even right and wrong, right? It's like do this, don't do that. Like who gives a fuck if it's right or wrong? It's like there are things you should just do. Normally, the things that you should just do are also the right thing to do and good things. Normally. So like I said, I do want to take a little time. I am a human being. I have a life outside of this shit too, right? But that's my like aspiration. You know, my wife, one of the things that we didn't know until after we bought a house is like having neighbors sucks ass. I don't know any of these people. If I walk outside my door and throw a rock and hit any of these motherfuckers' houses, you'd be surprised if they come to the door. It's just a sleepy fucking neighborhood. It's not like it was when I was a kid. It was my neighborhood was a madhouse when I was a child. Kids running up and down this fucking street, toys fucking everywhere. My favorite thing my dad would do is come home from work and bring a toy in the house, and he'd be like, "Is this y'all's?" And he'd be like, "Nah." And he'd be like, "Who the fuck's toy is this?" They're like, "Jeff Denny, like quarter-mile down the road. Should we go give it to him?" "Sure, it's a pretty expensive Ninja Turtle." Yeah. So why would I leave a high-paying work from home job to go get paid less, treated like shit, just to get an opportunity to coach high school football? I already did that. I've already coached high school ball. I've coached adults. I coached a semi-pro football league and we were undefeated. So I clearly can coach. And I see how they treat one of my homies, one of my best friend's brother-in-law, he's a head coach in Muncie, Indiana. And he'd been an assistant coach for 12 years before he got a head coaching offer. Yeah, out in Northwood, I think was a place he got a coaching job at. And he went out to the boonies, and he did the commute to the job and back. I'm just not doing that. Just not doing that. I hate to say like I've never felt like a member of Lawrence's community where I live here in Indianapolis. Um, but things have just been so crazy since COVID hit that it's kind of disassociated my home from the community I'm in. I don't feel so attached. And it's not a bad thing on Lawrence, Indiana. I fucking love the east side of Indy. It's fucking awesome, especially far east side out where I live. It's quiet. I like it. But because of COVID, like I'm not as attached to I don't need to be here. It's not like my presence is required here in order for anything that I do. You know, in fact, a smaller town is actually you have like a more of an impact on people. So, obviously, don't want to spend too much on that. But first half hour of the show here, hey, I got like a big job interview on Tuesday. Like I said, I don't deserve it. I shouldn't be getting a job interview with 2 years of fucking coaching experience. It should not fucking happen. It should not happen. And you're never ready. As much as you think you're ready, as much as you want to do something, I have no doubt that I would have a massive impact. I have no doubt. But I, like everybody else, I'm full of self-doubt like everybody else, you know. But I wanted to point this out. So I got family from Warren, Michigan, by the way. So first link I'll share with everybody. Yeah, for the record, love Lawrence, but like I said, because of COVID, it kind of disassociated me with the community I'm in, and that's not a slight on Lawrence. It's just it's made me more. Uh, it's easier for me to see myself leaving, you know. And for the record, that this isn't one of those situations where I applied at all these places in Indy and have interviewed at all these places in Indy. I've turned down more interviews than I'll ever take. I am I'm I am him. I'm getting calls to come be assistant head coaches and OCs and shit, and ultimately it's a 12 to 16 hour day, 5 6 days a week year round. And again, you got to kind of choose your battles, right? Like you can't be taking, first of all, you can't take every fucking offer that you get, but you got to know your fucking worth. And you got to know what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to fucking do. And there's way too many people that just need someone to step on, need someone to use. So I got to the point pretty quickly coaching where it's like, if I'm not the head coach, I'm actually not even going to apply. If it's not head coach, I'm not even sending my resume. Somebody calls me about a job. Why? Because it takes about, I don't know if y'all have ever met people ever in your life, but it's only take you about 5 minutes around the average head coach before you figure out why the fuck you wouldn't play for that guy. Why that guy is not a state champion. It only takes a few minutes before you figure out exactly what they're about. Um, but yeah, it's one of those situations where once you've coached a little bit and you got a little bit of experience, you know what you want and what you don't want. And there's a reason I was like, I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna become a teacher. Is so that you could just walk into a head coaching job as a teacher, as opposed to interview like I had been doing, climb like I had been doing, right? And so, like I said, this is coming out of left field. This is not a job I've gone through a traditional application process for, right? I didn't apply at the school and go through some set of interviews. No. I got an email, "Hey coach, we need to talk about you being our head coach. Can you interview like Tuesday?" You know what I mean? Like, hmm. See, like I said, they got a farmer's market. That's what I'm most excited about. I looked up the town. They got farmer's market. Sold. I'm in. It's a county seat. Sold. That's all I needed. But yeah, we'll pipe dream till reality sets in. See, Congress putting in a bill. Oh, you know what I heard that we should talk about because it's valid. He's not on my show, but James Blackman, who is a Reagan staffer, was recently talking about Al Green being censored. So I got a headache. Oh my god, right behind my left eye. Holy shit. Need more water or something. Watch me have an aneurysm. So I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, I really don't know what I was saying. That headache fucked me up. Oh, people were talking about the Democrats that voted to censure Al Green. And I had not even named them. I was so disappointed. I hadn't even named them. But James Blackman, who is a Reagan staffer, which to me means probably has a poli-sci degree, said, "Hey, actually, you know, actually, um, censuring Al Green is like a light form of punishment. It's like a wrist slap." And Al Green is I believe, the one leading the impeachment charge on Donald Trump. And by censuring him when he spoke out, they kind of get him out of the limelight. It's like he gets a timeout. And so, on the one hand, it made you mad about those 10 Democrats. It also, in my eyes, it identified 10 Democrats you didn't already know. Hey, whether you like hearing it or not, there's a handful of people that voted to censure Al Green that you didn't know who their fucking name was. And now it's forcing you to look these people up, look at their voting record, look how they voted before, and understand them better as candidates and as political leaders, right? And so, and again, that's my perspective, that little shot at the end where it's like, actually, this is net good. Because if you were to maintain some sense of a two-party system through this administration, which again, I'm making sure I say, hey, I don't know that the Republican Party has legs. I'm just a lot of the people in the Republican Party are deeply entrenched and fucking old, and his cabinet is not fucking great. Like, meaning like there aren't people in Donald Trump's cabinet are like hireable. So one of the reasons, and again, one of the reasons I think Democrats have been quiet and played by the fucking rules is because they expect the rule of law to stand up to Donald Trump. He can't fucking run again. It's illegal. He can't change the law. Okay. And they're going to get fucking annihilated in midterms. Like, I don't think anyone understands the impact that this election is going to have on the Republican Party and their ability to win fucking elections. Donald Trump muertes, it's over for the Republican Party. You have no mouthpiece. The major news networks, as soon as DJT is off the earth, it's over. Pack it up. They'll never go to Mar-a-Lago again. They'll never do it. Elon Musk is getting pushed away every fucking day. This administration has to distance itself from Elon Musk. So I'm just pointing out things that are real and are actually happening in real life, right? Because everybody wants to, oh my God, our rights are eroding, and it's just like, are they? Are they in real time? Because it seems like to me Donald Trump has won one fucking lawsuit over an executive order or presidential order that he's laid. One. He's getting his ass beat. He's been in court since he got elected. And as I've been saying for months now, get the fucking boot off your face. You are not oppressed. The fucking protests are working. The fucking boycotts are killing them. And I'm talking about from the TikTok shop. I'm saying, like, it's hurting their bank account. It's hurting their stock. It's hurting their investments. This is fantastic. You don't understand. These people's whole premise is making you fucking broke while they get rich. And they are losing money hand over fist. Yeah, no, we won all but one case. The people fucking won. And the ruling he did get came from a Trump plant. So of course they decided not to fucking pursue charges or whatever it was. Decided not to rule, I think, was the actual thing. It wasn't even like a win. It was just like what he was doing was so fucking insignificant. They're like, whatever. You have it, Don. But I think they're going to lose these special elections. You know why? You know why I think the Democrats are going to win all these special elections? Every day I grow closer to knowing the third candidate that the Democrats have in these three special elections, but I know two of them for sure, and I've seen their faces. Gay Valamont and Joshua Wheel. I actually think those are real people. Now, I still don't know who the third candidate is. I couldn't even tell you what state it's in. But here's what I definitely, most certainly cannot do. I couldn't tell you who the Republican running against them is. I don't know who those people are. I hope that tells you that, hey, those are all of that is good, right? If the guy that has a daily podcast where we discuss news and politics, and I can identify candidates for your fucking party that are running for a special election, hey, that's good. That's a good thing. When I know what their faces look like, Project 25. It has so far, though. It has so far. Like, Donald Trump's not doing it the right way because he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand. Elon Musk did not pass a U.S. government class. Elon Musk thinks when you say immunity, it means any actions the president takes, he's immune from getting prosecuted for. Okay? Okay. Somebody's in the TikTok chat said who's the opponent for Gay Valamont. Right on. His name's Jimmy. So I don't know that you would ever walk into a voting booth and push the button that says Jimmy if it's not Jimmy Carter. But yeah, right on, Beck. Thanks. So somebody said, can Project 2025 be stopped? They kind of have to do some things first. Like, Donald Trump has said a lot of things, and he's made a lot of executive orders and presidential orders, but they're not legal. And judges are like striking them down and saying, like, that's not legal, Don. And I know there's a lot of people out there like, these people don't care about laws, and it's like, how, if a court says that's not, you can't do that, and they reverse all the firings, right? So all these people are getting their jobs back. Yes, he's like halfway through Project 2025, but he's going blazing fast. He's not actually accomplishing any of these things. He didn't actually destabilize stuff. He threatened to do that. He aims to do that. But there, in my eyes, there are safeguards to democracy. I hate to be that guy, but like, I don't. I'm fine with being this guy. Like, so far, democracy's kind of holding, and it's because of judges and prosecutors and lawyers. So I'm hoping, I'm hopeful democracy survives this, but I actually think like Democrats will take control, of the House through these special elections. And again, the whole reason that that's happening is because Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself. So just understand, he wanted to point these people, Waltz and Matt Gaetz and Waltz, right? Was the two in Florida that are effectively, they're willing to give up one of the branches of government. They want to give up control of that because Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself. USA emergency legislation introduced by Rep. Seth Magaziner from Rhode Island, a Democrat, to prohibit funds for the armed forces to engage in operations to invade or seize territory from Canada. Here's the states starting to sue Donald Trump for all his illegal firings. Hoping in the special election, the next round of regular elections, we clean house. Yeah, and they absolutely should. And there's a reason why I want to establish the American Socialist Party. And I want people who, one of the things that I've got to find is I have to find other people that see right through the Democratic and Republican parties. And they go, hey, those are two sides of the same coin. They're funded by billionaires. They absolutely are a status quo organization where there's just no progress. It's like trading chips back and forth in the name of bipartisanship. And what has happened is an erasure of rights, an erasure of history, and they're literally eliminating any gains the average person has made against inflation, against capitalism. They've lost as a result of the mismanagement of COVID, the first Trump election. And one of the things that you'll never hear me say, you don't hear me talking about people that voted for Donald Trump. You don't ever hear me ranting about Trumpers. Why? Because there's so fucking few of them, actually. Because remember, the data, beyond a shadow of a doubt, shows manipulation in this election, whether it's election interference or fraud. You can choose to believe that or not, but for there to be substantial evidence of one or both of those things, and for you to take the results of this 2024 U.S. election seriously, kind of says a lot about you. And when you attack people that voted for Donald Trump, when I'm telling you a few months before the 2024 U.S. elections, a social media firm did an audit of Donald Trump and Elon Musk's social media profiles and found that 90% of their followers are bots. So that was right before the election. They're not nearly as popular as we think they are, or they think they are. And then early record voting, early mail-in voting, record same day, record election day voting, right? Same day voting, whatever, in-person voting. You look at the information from this election and you can't throw a rock on the internet without finding a breakdown of the data in this election and information on misinformation, information on election interference and fraud in this past election. So the reason that I haven't been saying Trumpers, right? Haven't been talking shit to Trumpers is because that's a much smaller audience. Most people are not fans of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Why would I want to attract those people and talk to those people? Right? Like why would I want to make content talking to people that I don't want to interact with those people. Remember, because the belief is that they've been brainwashed, right? And one of the things that we learned in the wake of the elections was how to break brainwashing. It's a process, right? Remember we talked about it. Isolation is the first thing you do. You don't speak to them. Well, for too many people, they've broken that, and they break that every day, where they spend all their time talking to them. What the fuck are you doing? This is not the time for that. What this is a time for is organizing, building a community. There's a reason I'm here every day. There's a reason I created the American Socialist Party on Facebook, on Twitter, on Blue Sky. It wasn't for me. I don't need another social media profile. It's for you. It's for you to tag in posts. Sure, I could be more active individually, posting shit. But I am, though. I still post a piece of content, have a podcast every day, right? So there have to be people in this audience, Nauseous Ambiance, the absolute best name ever. How are you? Hope you're good. Yeah. You're in Indiana, right? Saw a good protest P-test going on, shared the video. Oh, there's a professional testers event in Indiana? Awesome. Oh, how are we doing today? 25 on TikTok. 13. It is it is Sunday. This is our show is at an odd time. Just so everybody knows, daylight savings time is my least favorite day. Okay? When the time changes, I hate it. It's the worst. Do you guys have do you guys have daylight savings time where you are? I don't know if it's everybody has it or not. Want to make sure we share this professional tester calendar. Okay. Okay. And I wanted to go over that with you. Okay, so right now we're in the midst of a 1 week no Amazon boycott, right? And then, hey, I just want to make sure everybody knows we're also amidst a 40-day Target blackout. So no Amazon, no Target. No Amazon through Friday. No Target. I want to say for about the next 33 days, to be honest with you. There's a national strike on Friday. I'm going to be real honest with you. I just got a new job and just got out of training, and I am still in the, I can't even remember what it's called, probationary period. So I can switch my shift and potentially end up with Friday off and participate in the national strike. And on next Saturday is a total shutdown. No travel, spending, working. So the next weekend, shut it all down. Good to go. And next weekend's especially a good time to delete some applications off your phone. Specifically ones you don't use and ones you don't need to be using anymore. And hey, just so someone said it out loud, you need to get rid of Facebook, Threads, IG. Get Facebook Messenger off of your phone. Hey, Facebook Messenger is a super invasive application. First of all, I would delete the app just hearing that. Super invasive? Nah, I'm good. I don't need that. Okay? But here's why. Messenger has access to your microphone and your camera without you having access to the app. So it can use your microphone and your camera without you opening the app. Also, so that means it's always listening. They're capable of always listening. Okay? Also, Facebook reads your conversations that you're having. So all the Messenger conversations that you have, it impacts the algorithm on all the other Facebook tools. So have you ever been having a conversation on Messenger and then you go onto Facebook and everything is like geared to what your conversation was? It's because Messenger's listening. That's super invasive. I know there's a lot of people out there that have Alexa in their house. I don't have Alexa in my house. Okay? That think that that's fine if Facebook's reading my private conversations and using that to impact other applications' algorithms. There are people that are like, that's fine, but I'm not one of them. And also, lastly, so not only is it got access to your camera and your microphone without you even needing to open the app, it listens to your conversations in that and uses that to impact the algorithm on the other Meta tools. Okay, they will also give up your location. Facebook's not as invasive as Facebook Messenger, no, because of the Messenger application's permission bank. It wants access to your camera and your microphone. It gives away your location, meaning like if you're a professional tester and you're at a professional testing event and you get schmarrested, it's because they have your fucking location. So, one of the things that I've told people to do, get rid of Meta completely. Facebook Threads, IG, get Facebook Messenger off your phone, get WhatsApp off your phone, get TikTok. I mean, you could get TikTok. You could get Twitter off your phone. Get Amazon off your phone. I didn't say delete your accounts. See, deleting your accounts is not the play. Here's why. Every day, tons of people sign up for those services. You deleting your account has no impact on that. You deleting those apps, deleting your accounts doesn't do anything. What's actually going to do something is if you stop fucking using them. I know that I sound like an old man when I say it. Stop fucking doom scrolling. It's the Nike slogan, just do it. It's not just doom scroll. It's just do it. So for all of those people that were big supporters early, that have kind of lost their footing, I hope this reinvigorates you. Like, I'm still in, my car battery was dead. I went and got a battery charger. I plugged that shit up in 24 hours. The battery's back. I got my car back. So I can actually drive now. I want to make good money and get a new vehicle. So especially if I get a coaching job. So yeah. Want to make sure everybody's got the calendar. You can download that, put it on your phone. Okay. But yeah, I want to point out that yesterday in Michigan, in Warren, Michigan, Bernie Sanders met with about 10,000 people. What's important about that number? I'll tell you. It was 3,000 the day before in Wisconsin. So what's important is that what they're doing is popular. Okay? What Bernie's doing is popular. Progressive policy is popular. People actually want these things, right? Them showing up en masse, especially in order of magnitude, right? Like 3,000 people on a Friday is pretty good numbers. 10K the next day, 24 hours, one state over is a lot, actually. That's like 3 1/3 times as many people. That's orders of magnitude. That's a big fucking deal. If there were 3,000 people on Friday and 3,500 on Saturday, you would say that's not very many more. That's not that many more people. But 3 1/3 times as many people within 24 hours for the same speaker is really good. I have cousins who are from Warren, Michigan. Yeah. Bernie's doing something. Hakeem and Schumer and others are doing cringe content. Yeah. Do you know how mad I would be if I was a constituent of somebody who held up a false sign at the State of the Union, or who agreed to wear all pink? Like, you're up against a fascist authoritarian regime and you're quiet quitting. That's what the Democrats are doing. They're quiet quitting. They're moving on with their lives. That's what it appears. Hakeem Jeffries on book tour. Where are the fucking former presidents? Why ain't they saying shit or doing shit? What the fuck? What about this prior administration? What are they doing? Why they all disappear? Is it because they're afraid? That's the lamest shit ever. That's just the beginning, right? For me, for my feedback. Yeah, where's Biden and Obama? Right? They typically outspoken. I don't understand. I mean, obviously I've been saying, never interrupt your opponent while they're making a mistake, right? That is the art of war, by the way, is never interrupt your opponent while they're making a mistake. So they've made enough mistakes. Let's go, people. No, I totally empathize with anybody that's like, I can't believe this is the state of U.S. politics, and the thing about it is the Republicans are pussy too. It's not like they're speaking out in droves, right? They're scared too. Their lives have been threatened too. That's what makes it super wild. But I want to make sure, like I said, I'll be the first person to criticize Democrats. I'll be the first person to criticize Republicans. Everybody can get it. You know what I mean? Nobody's innocent in all of this. There are too many dead bodies. That's the way I feel. There's too many victims for there not to be a need for a new party that thinks everyone matters and says, "Hey, you want to vote for someone that wants to roll back DEI? How about a party that wants that? That wants to seek diversity, equity, and inclusion? That instead of rolling back protections for unions is pro-union to the point where we are syndicalist socialists, where we want to get our leadership from the ranks of union leadership. Why? Because ultimately, a union rep's job is to fight for better wages and health care and benefits for the workers. And also, historically, unions are like massive blocks of voters, people that vote, people that care. They make enough money. They're middle enough class to be able to vote too. I got offered 2 weekdays off in a row, and I might take that, and that will do a lot for me building the American Socialist Party. Right now, I don't have two sides. I don't have 2 days off in a row, and so on my days off, I'm less want to like leave my house and do stuff when it's like I just gotta kind of take care of the house, right? So I know there's a lot of people that were really all about it that have kind of backed off because they feel like a lack of action on my part, but know that Rome wasn't built in a day. And I'm learning why Drake said no new friends. So for all of you that will see this, that used to be there, that nothing fucking happened. It's not like we got to fight or something. It's not like I've changed. It's not my MO or my fucking my mission or my message has changed. You changed. Make sure that you keep that same energy on the way back. Once people realize they can't manipulate you and control you, it affects how they treat you. And I think that's part of the reason why people come and go. Is because they realize that I'm the same person outside the show that I am on the show. Yep. Like K. Rush said it's about who can control people rather than make positive changes for people. Yeah, that's the Republican Party. I mean, all they'll do when you give them power is take away people's rights and shit. They're not expanding rights for anybody. They're not looking out for anybody but the dancing with the one that brung them. You know, they're for sure gonna put billions of dollars into somebody else's pocket. That seems like a job, right? That's how I could never be a fucking Republican. Because all Republicans do is go to work for billionaires. They're bootlickers, in my eyes, right? If you think about Republicans now versus like they want, didn't Republicans want small government and they wanted money out of politics and they wanted, less corporate or, less government overreach and all this shit. And it's like, now what are they doing? Guessing my wife is home. Yep. Dogs are freaking out. But we're back on TikTok for now. By the way, the House funding bill eliminated police grants. I thought it was crazy. Thought it's crazy. The pro police party, right? That this pro police party has police guarding Tesla dealerships, by the way. Meanwhile, Doge and the Republicans are putting through a spending bill, right? Diabolical. They're going to defund the police. Yeah. What's crazy is that they're going to defund the police. They're going to defund the police, and the police are still going to show up and guard Teslas. Make that make fucking sense. Hey, I'm just letting y'all know, if you cut my pay and benefits, I'm not guarding your shit. The fuck are we talking about? Like, imagine being one of the cops standing out in front of a fucking Tesla yesterday as they announce cuts to police departments, as they cut funding for police departments. How do you still show up to that shit? Because I could promise you, I'm not guarding a fucking Tesla for no amount of money. But know that they weren't on duty. That's not their job. They were off duty. So they were being paid heavily to be there by their police union, who just got their funding cut. Potentially. Okay. Becca said, is education defunded too? No, it's just rare. People stop learning in like middle school. And they get in charge and run the world. By the way, some truce didn't Donald Trump said he was gonna end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours and that he'd negotiate a truce in Gaza? Yeah, Israel turned off the electricity to Gaza. It was just a few hours ago. Wow, this is interesting. France uncovers the world's largest hydrogen deposit, worth a staggering $92 trillion. It seems like a lot. Well, I've been saying for a while, ACAB, FTP, fuck 12, but mostly just want to see them lose pistol, pew pew. Would rather see them have to put that in the trunk. So when people talk about not wanting to defund the police, crime's down. Crime's at an all-time low. We should take the pew pew out of first contact for police and take away qualified immunity for police. We want to dissuade people who want to hurt other people from being police. How do you do that? Take the firearm off their hip. Put a med kit on their hip. Turn them into like active EMT. Because again, I just want to point out, like, Narcan, replacing the pistol would do more good to the public. 6 people in Indianapolis in the last 24 hours overdosed downtown. And again, I'm not assuming anything. Too many people will throw around the word FNIL. I'm trying to get banned on fucking TikTok. Too many people will throw around that word FNIL when a bunch of people die or fall ill. I got that story out of the TikTok shop. I'm just making shit up. You all good, babe? Sorry, my wife just came home. Woman Marine 1, how are you? 20 people in here. Oh man, this is bad. What There's an AP story about ICE arresting a Palestinian activist who helped lead Columbia University protests. Is going to be fucking deported. Yo, and he actually was chosen among his peers to negotiate with the university last year, and he got picked up by ICE. That's such trash. By the way, Palantir's stock is crumbling, as are all a lot of these billionaires' net worth, and that's part of the reason why I tell you, quit your doom scrolling. Quit your constant need to be connected to your phone. Facebook, Threads, IG, Twitter, let it go. Let it go. I'm telling you, your life will be so much better off without it. And ultimately, society will be better off without it, right? And by the way, I want to encourage you all to speak out against this regime. I made a video this morning. And it's the first video I've ever posted on TikTok that got the audio banned. Now, it just so happens that I've started doing the captions. So I implore you, please, go to my TikTok, watch the last couple videos. There's a 10-minute video that they took the audio off of that I had to appeal it. And I won the appeal. So they gave me the audio back. Go to my TikTok. I'm not talking about one of my pinned posts. I'm talking about, I have a 10-minute video from this morning that got the audio banned on. And I want you to listen to that and understand that Elon Musk, Donald Trump, hey man, they don't like this shit that I'm talking. When I said, hey, Donald Trump banned the word felon from being used at the White House, and in the same month, we found out that Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan's podcast and said all this shit we've been talking about him is having an impact on him. Hey, I don't know about you, but I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. If I'm really being honest, I've always wanted to make fun of the worst people and have almost everyone be like, hell yeah, that's the best. Even if my wife doesn't like it. I read on Snopes it's false about the ban on felon in the White House. That's hilarious. It's even funnier now that Snopes says that that's not true. So then the question is, do they use that word in the White House a lot or something? In the worst reality show ever? Let's look it up. Donald Trump bans the word felon from being used in the White House. Sorry. And I mean, there's a whole list of words that you can't, that this administration's like banned. Most of it has to do with like equality and, equal opportunity. And I think like sexist and misogynist are like removed. I think those are, yeah, it's a crazy time to be alive. Somebody said Snopes isn't as reliable as it used to be. Yeah, I wasn't gonna like argue over Snopes because like tons of people still kind of rely on that. All right, dogs. You hear my dogs in the background whining. This is my wife's home. It's funny how she left and didn't want to hang out this morning. Now she's home and wants to hang out, huh? Dogs. You can hear her just egging them on. So he alone has freedom of speech. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But yeah, I know it feels like we're living through like the worst of times. But I'm telling you, it's working. Protests are working. Your boycotts are working. There's a strike on Friday. Strike on Friday. You're amidst don't use Amazon, don't use Target. Bubble's gonna pop. Yep. They're gonna lose enough money to where. I mean, did you see that Elon Musk has lost $131 billion since he kind of joined the Republican side? I think that, like I said, I think that that relationship's gonna crater sooner than later. That's what I think. I think that relationship's gonna go south. My dogs are losing it. Hey Jared, I got a video removed today. I got the audio taken down. Listen to my video from this morning. It's about 10 minutes long. It's where I'm like make fun of the oddity in their oddities. You know what I mean? Like, hey, one of the things that Donald Trump and Elon Musk have in common is that on their diorama on their Ken doll, their their junk's all fucked. Like when you ask them to draw They're drawing wildly different pictures than I would draw. You know what I mean? For example. And that's about the only way to say it and not get banned. But I definitely made a video, posted it on YouTube and on TikTok saying like make fun of them. They can't handle the shit. It's amazing. That's amazing. If you know that your enemy dies not by paper cut, but by the simple the rush of wind with your breath on it is absolutely breaks them down. Can't handle it. I mean, it'd be one thing if they were like, you know, I don't know, like allergic to milk or something. But like seriously, like to find out that the bully, you can't make fun of the bully because he gets really offended. Oh my God, make the fuck fun of him. What are we talking about? I never needed to be told anything than finding out that the person that means me the most harm, you also can't criticize that or they lose their mind and this might have an effect on them. Oh, ha 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 ha. Oh, we're making fun of somebody now. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. So yeah, want to make sure we say to everyone that's protesting, there's pop-up protests. People are really getting into it. That's one of the things I'd warn people against are pop-up protests. I want to see, hey, I want to see attending planned protest. Unplanned protest, I'm just worried. I will just always worry. One is smaller group of people. Trump's bald spot is his sore spot too. See Women's Day in Paris. That shit was powerful. Hell yeah. That's one of the thing I've noticed in Europe is like when they fucking protest, bro. I'm just saying, it's fucked up that we're called the United States and we are not. We're not. But I imagine they start fucking with Social Security, veterans benefits and shit. You take away people's fucking livelihoods. Because the thing right now is like 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, right? So 2/3 of the working adults in this country gotta go to work tomorrow, dog. So when you ask, like, why aren't people just protesting? It's because they live paycheck to paycheck and they literally cannot afford a day off, days off. It's just facts. It's an unfortunate side effect of capitalism is that once you're in this machine, you can't get off. Think about somebody trying to found a political party, pro protest, and I haven't been to either of the fucking protests. Why? Because I'm stuck in this capitalist machine where I have to fucking work. It's just facts. Okay? But with their attack on unions, with their attack on education, with their attack on our military, right? On their attack on our veterans, it's only a matter of time before those protests swell and are so big they can't be ignored anymore. Can't be ignored anymore. And I know that people don't like waiting. And people are like, Jared, when is justice coming? When's Executive Order 13848 gonna drop? I don't know. I don't actually work for any of those agencies. I just pointed out what was written down and read it to you and laid expectation that I'm assuming, right? And eventually, think about this. There's got to be somebody that has these reports, these investigations. Eventually, that information is going to become public, right? And so, again, don't aim that at me. Don't come to me and be like, hey, I thought you said he wasn't going to win. I thought you said da 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 da. Hey, man, fuck off. Democracy's dying in front of us, and you're coming at the person that was reading democracy to you. This is what should happen. What do you want from me? And it's not a matter of right and wrong. Like, I'm wrong. I went and found the shit to read to you. Or I was tipped off at the shit to read to you. But I personally did not write it. And so when these things don't happen, that's not my fault. So when things aren't timely, it especially isn't my fault. It ain't me. Trust me, I'm where I'm supposed to be almost all the time. Almost all the time. Today, real talk, woke up this morning. It was an hour later than I thought it was going to be. It wasn't even that I was going to have to rush to do the show. It's that my wife also was showering and leaving this morning. And it was just like, you know what? I need some time to just relax. And you know what I did? I let the dogs outside and stood outside, even though it's cold. And I played video games for a little while. I just took some daylight hours for myself. Thank you. As per usual, I want to make sure I say thank you to everyone that's here. Obviously, we made it through the whole show without getting banned on TikTok. I tried not to change too much, right? The White House lawyers. So, yeah. Listen to Eat the Rich and let's get out of here. Okay. Appreciate y'all. Make sure, again, you wonder what you can do, right? I posted the calendar multiple times today. Told you, don't shop at Target. Don't shop at Amazon. Get Facebook threads and IG off your phone. Get Messenger off your phone. Get Twitter off your phone. Amazon off your phone. Stop using that shit. And you don't. And the thing about it is, you don't actually have to do it. It's happening at such a high clip that they're just losing money hand over fist. The stock market's on a free fall. If you're not invested in the stock market, it's fantastic. If you're an anti-capitalist, it's fantastic. I don't want to see rich people continue being rewarded for gutting democracy. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with them losing money. You know? And also 2025, I just want to make sure everybody knows this, is the 250th anniversary of the United States Marine Corps. And as a Marine Corps veteran, you're going to see me get a lot louder and more obnoxious. Not drunk. That's who he used to be. Okay. So hey, have a good rest of your day. See you, Krish. But yeah, I'm gonna hopefully get some Culvers. That's what I'm doing. So my whole like ordeal today is that it's been too long since I had Culvers. I'm afraid it's having an impact on me personally. I think I'm gonna have to rectify that situation pretty quickly, actually. I'm hoping that's why my wife wanted me off my show. Have a good one. Yeah, we're being throttled like a motherfucker. We used to get thousands of views, 740. Come on. Come on. Appreciate y'all.